Happy Devil's Thursday! This is the Woo Report, episode 81. Streaming live on Facebook Live, Twitter Live, YouTube Live, and Twitch on the Primetime Radio Network. Also on Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, wherever you find your podcasts, iHeart app, Audible, Amazon Prime Music, Spotify. Yeah, you can find us everywhere. Good afternoon, everybody. It's a happy Devil's Thursday afternoon. How are you today? It's kind of hot. Things are starting to heat up in Devil's Land and across the NHL. Let's get to it. Mikey McLeod re-signs with the New Jersey Devils, a 2-year deal. Mikey McLeod, pretty much, I think we're all in agreement. So one of the most improved players last season, the heart, the center of the BMW line. He did very well using his size, and it was definitely a learning curve from the start. But I think he's starting to hit his stride. 2-year deal, and I'll tell you what. In the press release that the Devils put out, which I'll get to that misspelling towards the end of the podcast. But face-offs, he was second on the team on face-offs, and we hope he uses his size, his speed, his skills, but also winning important face-offs. Wrote this on my blog on hockeybuzz.com. Check it out. That winning face-offs is one of those underrated things. We talk about hits, we talk about plus-minus, goals, assists, danger zone shots, whatever. Winning that face-off simply could negate any shenanigans happening in your defensive zone. Raymond, probably not. With Seattle, I don't think so. Again, I would protect Mikey McLeod just for the sheer size. Look, right now the Devils are stacked down the middle. You've got Jack Hughes, you've got Nico Hischier, add in Mikey McLeod, potentially Dawson Mercer in the future, and whatever. And Pavel Zacha moving to the wing. He could play center. You can never get enough centermen, and you can never get enough defensemen. And I think it's a good signing. Again, these are just things that we were all expecting. Nothing too surprising. Determined possession, says Raymond in the Facebook Live. Yes, that's puck possession is key. And also, look, a lot of the momentum that the Devils handed to their opponents, a lot of it came from multiple draws in their own zone, and they just couldn't win a face-off. Eventually, the other team's going to score. And hockey is a game of momentum. It's a team sport. Douglas Walker writes, bye-bye Bastian. I hope not. I hope they keep the BMW line. I mean, not saying it's, kind of comparing apples and oranges here. I mean, can you imagine the crash line? You expose Mike Peluso, Maybe I'm wrong with that. I don't know. But the Devils do need some grit. They do need some size. At times, they looked like they were just getting pushed around. It looked like more of an all-skill team. And you look at, the players that they've traded, right? Kyle Palmieri, Travis Zajac, the year before, Blake Coleman. You see all these former Devils doing extremely well. They just need to put it together. And then bye-bye Kokkonen. You know what, Douglas Walker, stop the bye-bye. Who would you keep? Who would you keep on the New Jersey Devils as protected, which, I got some flack for not talking so much about it. And the reason why I haven't talked so much about the expansion draft, Other than the fact that I was just making a mere suggestion that Damon Severson left unprotected just to protect the core nucleus of their forwards. I know that's not going to happen, but it was just a mere suggestion. But what I'm thinking is, you know, with this expansion draft, you look at the schedule. Okay, teams are supposed to do this. Teams are supposed to do that. Here's the deadline for your veterans to waive their no trade clause so you can unprotect. Like, there's so many things happening. It's such a condensed schedule that it's like, if I'm going to talk about it, I'm practically going to be making up stuff. Only because, why? Because it hasn't happened yet. I'm not going to predict. I'm not going to speculate. I know that drives up hits, drives up viewership. Yeah, you want to speculate? Look, there's a guy out in Colorado that can't get a contract, a captain, guy that has leadership, guy that has skill and guts, toughness. His name is Gabriel. Landeskog? Yeah, that guy. Now that's somebody worth throwing money at, using your cap space to do that. That could change the mindset of the New Jersey Devils. Remember, key veterans like Palmieri, like Zajac, the old guard, they're gone. And this is a young team. I would love for Tom Fitzgerald to go out and get the right veteran, get the right leader, get the game-changing player that can change the entire mindset of the team. Kind of like the same impact that Scott Stevens had when he was dealt to the New Jersey Devils as compensation for a little tampering by the St. Louis Blues. Kevin LeGault writes, yeah, but why have older players only care for about money, and then come to a team that won't make the playoffs for X amount of years? And that goes with my whole thing about last night about Zach Parise. Yes, that odds thing that came out that the Devils and the Islanders had the same odds of retaining the services of Zach Parise. But you know what? His time is over in New Jersey. It's time to move on. He probably wants to win now. He's not doing it for the money at this point. He gave it his all when he was here with the New Jersey Devils. It's time to move on. It's time to move on. And Douglas Walker, hello, Suter. Look, I'm all about defense, but again, do you see him long term? What is offering a big contract to Ryan Suter the answer for the New Jersey Devils? Again, we ripped off the Band-Aid when Ray Shero was hired in 2015. And furthermore, the Band-Aid has been ripped off even more after we realized that 2018 Stanley Cup playoffs was really fool's gold, and it was just one of those things where Taylor Hall had an MVP season. The Devils barely got into the playoffs with momentum, a valiant effort against the Tampa Bay Lightning, but only managed and muster one playoff win since 2012. Again, now Douglas says, hey, Sam, it doesn't have to be long term. It could be 2 to 3 years. Yeah, that's true. That's true. Now, you make a good point there. I understand that. But right now, I think the focus is who do you protect and who you don't protect. In terms of free agency, again, I just think the Devils need to stay the course. If they're bad next year, guess what? The pick's going to look pretty good. In next year's draft, not this upcoming one, but the next year's draft may have some pretty good players. Again, you don't want to put any more Band-Aids. We already ripped it off twice with the Harris Blitzer sports entertainment regime. Twice we've ripped off the Band-Aid. Let the wound heal. Stay the course. Unless, of course, there's somebody like Landeskog, who is, I believe he's 27. No success, but still hasn't won a cup yet. Who could insert himself in the Devils lineup and grow with this young nucleus. Not for 2 years like a Ryan Suter, but the next 5 years. Nico, Jack, Dawson, Holtz, Ball perhaps. Perhaps Riley Walsh, Ty Smith. Again, got to give credit to Scotty. All those post games where, I'm the first person complaining, I'll admit it. But when you look at what the Devils have done, there are a couple things missing. It was definitely not the talent. The talent is there. It is a winning mindset. They need leadership. I don't want an old dog, an old dog in the mix, an old veteran. But we need a player that could have that veteran leadership impact, but can grow long term with this nucleus. And they're not easy to find. But hey, I'm all about poaching that captain out of Colorado. You betcha. You're talking about Lou Coulter, Sam. Well, Lou knows how to win. I'm just hoping that this ownership group can figure it out, what it takes to win. Now, this may sound funny because I had been ripping on the New Jersey Devils today about the press release. And I feel bad because if some intern or whoever they employ, mistakes happen. We get it. And again, it's not harping on you. There's a bigger picture here that I believe that will help the New Jersey Devils. Now, you want to talk about Lou Coulter. When Lou was running the team, this is what worked. Every employee, whether you were the secretary, the GM himself, the ticket rep, all played a part of winning the Stanley Cup. You were part of that team. You're only as good as your weakest link. And I've always said that there had always been a lack of focus on winning. The Devils do a lot of things great. They donate money to charity. They do innovative marketing. They try innovative things. They take risks. But when you can't even get that last name right, McLeod, and then I looked on the keyboard, and I'll show it on the screen on the live video stream. Here's my keyboard. The D and the N are not even close to each other. So you can't even say you just mistyped by hitting the fat fingers, unless your fingers are really that fat. How can you get that wrong? Again, it's attention to detail. Okay? It's attention to detail. And it resonates from the top, the entire organization. Haha, I just used the cough button. So, best social media in hockey, hands down, ha ha ha, Mike Ruff. Well, they would be if they were winning. Okay, let's get back to on the ice. Okay, it's all about that winning mindset. Sometimes there have been teams that lose, just annual losers. Like, think of let's go in baseball, like the Pittsburgh Pirates, where they went 23 seasons without making the playoffs. Once you start losing that much, it's almost like becomes status quo. And that's what, as a fan, as a paying season ticket holder or a Devils member, that I kind of am worried about, a little anxious about. That the lack of focus, the mediocrity that's now become the status quo. It's like, the same old Devils. Yeah, lost 8-1 to the Rangers. We didn't even put up a shot in the first 15 minutes. Douglas Walker, who is this McLeod guy at the Devils side? Yes. You know what? You know what would be funny? If I went out, Beer Baron, Sunday Let's Go Devils podcast host, who is in love with Mikey McLeod. I should get him a number 9 jersey with the name McLeod on it for his birthday. Wouldn't that be funny? That would be funny. But hey, we like to poke fun of each other. Devils can poke at us. We can poke at them. It's all in good fun. No harm, no foul. But the point is, I like to see more attention to details before I can believe that this team has the ability to win and make it to the playoffs and be one of 16 teams that actually has a chance of holding or possibly denting Lord Stanley Cup. Eric Lepper says, I say we're there now. If not, you're wearing blinders. No? I don't know what you're talking about, Eric. But I'll take your word for it. But I will say, though, very proud of Mikey McLeod. His hard work's paying off. And I hope that continues. This new contract also holds him accountable because 2 years can go really fast. But if he can start winning faceoffs, put some more goals in the net, and uses his size and be an effective big centerman down the middle and get a little crazy every once in a while with the fists, he's got a much bigger contract coming to him in 2 years. And that's the kind of team that we are looking for. Dawson Mercer, looking forward to it. Clayton White was also re-signed, 2-way contract, 1-year deal. We discussed this on Say the Fan Address, Nick and I. Hey, Nick's high on him. Again, it's time to have a breakout year, Colton. There's only 6 spots on defense, sometimes 7, depending upon what the coach is doing. This is your time to sign. And I think the Devils right now are in the right position to just let it play out. But I will warn you, New Jersey Devils, patience is a virtue, and none of us have it right now. We got to see improvement. We got to see better hockey. And by the way, you do not lose to the New York Rangers and the Philadelphia Flyers, for that matter. You don't lose 5-0 to them. I don't care how bad the team is. And if you do, you better put up, some fists. And this is, again, last but not least, I want to talk about Nathan Bastian. He's part of that BMW line. Got to still give credit to Devils Insiders, Dave and Jeff. I believe they were the ones that created that name. It's stuck. It's great. But Nathan Bastian, why I think they should protect all 3 members of that line. For just a short period of time, they were great. They brought that energy, that fire, that can-do attitude on the ice. And again, that's the mindset that can be very contagious. But they can't break them apart. I mean, that was the part that everybody complained about John Hines. Anytime three guys on the line would develop chemistry and resolve, just switch them up. No, have some continuity. Even if you have to risk someone good to be taken off the board, I would keep all three of them. Nathan Bastian has that size. You want to have a balanced team. You want to have guys with skill like Jack Hughes, Nico Hischier, but some with size and brawn that can muck it up. Because you can't be too extreme. You can't have a bunch of muckers that can't skate, and you can't have a bunch of skaters that can't muck. You got to have balance. Balance. That's what I say. So Eric Johnson said, I think Landon Scott doesn't have a contract, so Colorado don't need to protect him during the expansion draft. They probably got a contract they will sign just after the draft. I don't know. Aha, use that cough button again. All right, so wrapping up, Mikey McLeod resigns. Beer Baron is happy. He's teaching an art class in front of a bunch of kids at Ork Farms in Long Valley, New Jersey. If you've got a kid and you want to show that kid a good time and learn something, have them sign up to Beer Baron's class. Great class. He's a great teacher. All right, so in housekeeping items, where's the beef, says Matt Junio. Yeah, that's what the Devils need right now. Skill is not a problem. I think it's just the intangibles that they need. But what do I know? I'm just a Devils fan. So in some housekeeping items, I'll be blogging again for Pucks and Pitchforks blog, or I'll have another article, as I should say. Not blogging again. I'm already blogging. Also, July 23rd. Not December 23rd. I messed up the other podcast. July 23rd. Big party. Let's Go Devils podcast draft party at Taj Lounge 973 across the street from Prudential Center. Confirmed. Shorts guy will be there. The Hockey on Tap guys will be there. I'll make Beer Baron go. And also, DJ Shelley will be there rocking out. If the weather is nice and sunny, weather permitting, the party's outside, folks. The party's outside. That's the last I heard. I'll double confirm that. Taj Lounge 973, formerly known as PJ Ryan's, across the street from Prudential Center on Edison Place. We're going to podcast. We're going to have music blaring. We got our VJ there, DJ Shelley. Going to be a good time. Surprises. Nick Villano is going to be zooming in from Georgia. Scotty from SiriusXM Liquid Metal from his posh estates in Beverly Hills will be there as well, zooming in. Till next time, let's go Devils!